Of course, President Obama is sure to mention terrorism in his address tonight when he gives his State of the Union address. Mike Barrett is with us here at the Russell Rotunda. He's a former intelligence officer for the Office of the Secretary of Defense, former senior analyst for the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Good to see you in person.
Nice to see you, Shep.
The President makes the case he has over and over again that the ISIS threat, domestically at least, is overplayed for political reasons and ratings reasons, and he says we need to relax a little bit. His critics vehemently disagree.
Well, at the end of the day, if you just look at the facts on the ground, I mean, as we just reported, we went from 0 to 36,000 members of this organization in 2.5 years. So we're talking about people that control a swath of land that's basically the size of Great Britain. I mean, this is something where 36,000 people have sworn to try to attack you and kill you. You got to take that seriously.
Take it seriously, but the difference is in approach. The President says stay the course, don't put ground troops in there, at least not in large numbers. Make the attempt to work through this diplomatically, and then some of his political adversaries suggest that what we should really be doing is going in there a lot harder, which opens up a lot of potential problems.
Well, I think the problem here is that what we're looking to do is we're looking to have a middle ground solution, which actually doesn't solve either of the problems. Domestically, what we need to focus on is resilience, supporting law enforcement, understanding the kinds of threats, chemical attacks, as you were just talking about. How would we respond to that? How would we deal with that? And then internationally, you've just got to punish them. You've got to take out their safe haven. And the problem is, as the sides are talking past each other, we come up with this middle ground solution that doesn't really solve either problem.
And then when we do have attacks here at home, and they're inevitable, according to just about everybody, on some level or another, we tend, according to the President, to overreact, which causes more problems than the event itself. How do we stop that?
Well, I mean, the way you stop about it is you talk about it today, which is in advance of the attack, and you think about it and you have good plans and you make the case to the American public that this is something we have to live with and we have to understand what our plans and our procedures and protocols are for dealing with it. What is the scenario for mass evacuation of a major American city? Nobody knows. I'm in the business and don't know what the plans are for the city I live in or the other major cities that are terrorist targets.
Same for me in New York. I don't know those plans.
We have done a terrible job of communicating with the public that yes, there's a potential threat. You don't want to panic, you don't want to overreact, but you need to be aware of it. The other piece, Shep, and they've just recently started to talk about this, the government's not going to be there for you in the immediate aftermath of an event. You have to be prepared to be on your own for 4 to 5 to 6 days if there's a massive, massive attack. And what people need to do then is have food and water. Now, I'm not talking about stockpiling, I'm not talking about end of the world, prepper stuff where you've got a bunker and you can survive till the end of times. But having 4 or 5 days worth of food and water means that the government can focus on all those who don't have the resources to help themselves.
We managed to convince people in hurricane areas that you need to do this. My mom, before she died, she evacuated 20-something times. One time it really mattered.
Right.
But you have to have those provisions and you have to be ready. And now people who live in coastal areas understand that. There's another threat, this threat we're talking about. Why can we not figure out a way to prepare? They used to tell us duck and cover. It made us feel better when I was a kid in school.
Right.
It didn't help us much.
Right, but there was a public information campaign where we were honest with people that we need to be prepared for this. And frankly, I mean, somebody asked me the other day if this latest Paris attack was a game changer. And I said, it's not a game changer, it's a channel changer. This movie was playing on the other channel. Right? We just weren't paying attention to it. And I think you can make a legitimate case that the Bush administration, which I was part of, overreacted to 9/11. But certainly you can make a case that this administration is underreacting to the persistent long-term threat. So people need to understand they're going to be responsible for their own safety and security for a period of time until the government can reestablish order if there's a case of chemical attacks or one of these major incidents.
Especially in a major city or in a highly populated area, which is where they like to go.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see what he says tonight. Usually not much from any of them. Good to see you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.